he's got a base hit.
Well, this is him.
But he's turned himself into a pretty good offensive play. Mania can't find it. It's behind him, and everybody's going to be safe. He looked up, but unfortunately, when he looked back down, he looked in the wrong direction, which you're really kind of guessing where the ball may be. And he hits that one hard. Olsen backhands it, now goes back to pick it up, flips
the 7th against the Kansas City Royals when they visited Angels.
Marquetta breaking out maybe some new sunglasses. 1-2 to Kemp. Kemp slaps one just foul as he tried
towards that back foot.
Didn't it look like the same pitch that was just called a ball?
Yeah, just a little closer, and it's
right center field. That's a base hit. Fletcher hits the bag at second. He's going to head for third, and he'll make it. So Ohtani has a line single. First and third, 2 outs for Stassi.
But he's got a big swing, and if you're an outfielder, you're going to play off this big swing, and it really.
Toward Elvis Sanders, underhands to first, and that. Chapman toward left, Upton hustling over, still on the run, and he makes a nice running play. Does Justin Upton, who. Upton's a big guy, but he runs extremely well. Line drive and a base hit to left field by Moreland. So Moreland, nice easy stroke to left field.
Well, you saw a few of them in a row, right?
That one is hit well. Right center field. Laguerre's back, and that baby's gone. Well, yeah, that's the reason why he's 1-6 this year, because
at the wrong time.
Grounded to the right side, scooped up by Fletcher.
Quick inning with not a lot of pitches.
And maybe straight back, good swing by Iglesias. Just right on that one.
Use a golf grip.
Well, not only.
But they were tough for a long time at the A's. They'd be a perfect fit.
Canna runs. Ball's hit deep to right field. Down the line, headed for the corner, and it is fair. Bounces off the wall. Canna being waved home. And Canna is going to score. Kemp's going to go to third.
Atlanta hot down. There's somebody.
That one is drilled toward that corner, and it's fair. Upton picks it up. Lowry to third. He'll stop there. Chapman with a booming double.
Sure likes that left field corner, doesn't he?
On the ground. Under the glove of Fletcher into right field for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score, and it's 6-1. The A's lead. Right under the glove of Fletcher for a hit. Hit toward first. Walsh is going to fire to second. And that's a base hit to right field. And Sanders. This goes the other way. Nice and easy. Moreland comes in to score. It's a 5-run third inning for the A's.
At the top. Anytime.
Joe Maddon's got to be thinking, you know, we're playing so well.
The idea.
Second inning and 5 in the third. So the A's
Early and as often as possible.
Ward lines one to right field. Man, that is a
game, but the Coliseum not the only place to get that done. In fact, maybe you get a base runner, but you're still.
Hey, guess what?
Babe Fletcher.
Fletcher got a hit.
First pitch.
Well, that's why I say, I mean, both opposite field hitting as Ohtani waits for his third at bat.
Just that frustration. And Foss, you actually nailed it as to what.
Ohtani a little bit toward left center. Lowry on the backhand, flips to first. Olsen fouls it back. Quick goes, and the White Sox.
Opposed to that either. You're just wishing for chaos.
Kevin, a little flare to right field. Hustling in and making a nice sliding catch is Taylor Ward for the second out.
That drop, you knew that Matt Chapman would have been going great. And that's just a delayed inside out. Ward didn't really
go home. Play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Tigers. So it's Jules, the 1973 World Series. Should probably be my
Los Angeles Angels baseball is on the air across from the Bay Bridge, the Oakland Coliseum site of Game 2 of the Angels' three-game series with the first place Oakland A's. Tonight's Angels game is presented by your Southern California Honda dealers. With Mark Gubazai and Jose Mota, Matt Vasgersian with you. Good to have you with us on Bally Sports. Yesterday's series opening loss for the Angels interrupted the six-game winning streak, but it did not come without some highlights, Gooby, namely two big-time performances by the Angels' middle infielders.
Yeah, they were both excellent last night. Jose Iglesias with 4 hits, his 8th time in his career. When you look back over the last 7 games for Iglesias, a .593 slugging percentage, a batting average of .370. He is using that barrel of the bat, using the entire field to hit the baseball hard. Very clutch in those RBI situations, batting number 3 tonight in the lineup. David Fletcher, for the 4th time in his career, a 4-hit game. He's hitting very well over his last 14 games. .318 batting average, and just missed his first home run of the season, doubled off that left field wall, but so difficult to be able to deal with as far as putting that ball in play all over the ballpark.
Hasn't happened very often in franchise history where middle infielders in the same game have the kind of night that Fletcher and Iglesias did yesterday. Go back to June 20th, 1980. All-time franchise great Bobby Grich, 3-time All-Star Freddie Patek. They combined for the same kind of night, and here it was happening again yesterday for the Angels, hoping to build some momentum after the big hits, the big nights rather, by the middle infielders. Maybe there's another component to the Angels game that can get kicked into gear. Jose Mota has more on the Halos running game as we continue from Oakland next.
Having a base hit to left field. Upton with a big turn looked like he may think about going to third, but he does not. And Rendon starting to heat up. He's got a base hit.
Well, this is him.
But he's turned himself into a pretty good offensive player. When I can't find it, it's behind him, and everybody's going to be safe. He looked up, but unfortunately, when he looked back down, he looked in the wrong direction, which you're really kind of guessing where the ball may be. And he hits that one hard. Olsen backhands it, now goes back to pick it up, flips.
The 7th against the Kansas City Royals when they visited Angels.
Marquetta breaking out maybe some new sunglasses. 1-2 to Kemp. Kemp slaps one just foul as he tried
towards that back foot.
Didn't it look like the same pitch that was just called a ball?
Yep, just a little closer, and it's
right center field. That's a base hit. Fletcher hits the bag at second. He's going to head for third, and he'll make it. So Ohtani has a line single. First and third, 2 outs for Stassi.
But he's got a big swing, and if you're an outfielder, you're going to play off this big swing, and it really
Toward Elvis Sanders. Underhands to first. And that. Chapman. Toward left. Upton hustling over. Still on the run. And he makes a nice running play. Does Justin Upton, who. Upton's a big guy, but he runs extremely well. Line drive and a base hit to left field by Moreland. So Moreland, nice easy stroke to left field.
Well, you saw a few of them in a row, right?
That one is hit well. Right center field. Laguerre's back, and that baby's gone.
The Athletics Angels trying to tie this series here tonight, and the Ohtani following continues to get better and going every single stop where the Angels lead. And tonight, obviously, it is at the Coliseum. And for years, the Angels set the tone on one thing: running the bases, taking the extra base. Joe Madden has brought it back. How, in percentage, do the Angels compare to other ball clubs? Well, they are at 43% when it comes down to other teams in taking the extra base. And I'm Jose Mota with you as we get ready for this ball game. Remember, for years, the Angels set the tone, and they were the prime example of why you go out there and press the defense to make things better, to get closer to what? To scoring runs by getting the extra 90 feet. Last night, who set the tone? Well, a guy that actually did not take the extra base, but watch Justin Upton. That is something that outfielders remember, coaches remember, and before you know it, it's all about the hustle, taking the extra base. Laguerre's at first, but also look at Jared Walsh all the way from second base on the infield single. Never look back. That's just anticipation and having fun also playing the game. So as for me, Maddie and Gooby, we are ready to run. Follow us, because right after this, first pitch from the Bay, Frankie Montas for the A's, Andrew Heaney for the Halos as they try to even things up today with the Halos, yes, getting more than ready at the Bay against the Athletics. First pitch, right up.
Finale tomorrow. We'll take them one at a time, and here's how Joe Madden aligns the Halos in Game 2 of the series, looking to even things up with the Oakland A's. Without Anthony Rendon, a couple of people slide around. Jose Iglesias, namely, up to the 3 spot after batting 5th yesterday. After Upton, Ohtani, and Iglesias, it's Walsh, Ward, and Wong. Kurt Suzuki, the former A, catches at bats number 7. Juan Lagares celebrated his first homer as an Angel yesterday. He's in center field batting number 8. And David Fletcher, after the 4-for-5 opener yesterday, once again batting number 9. Angels getting ready to take swings against Frankie Montas, and they've seen him as recently as this past May. Montas was pretty good on that night. He pitched into the 6th inning, gave up 4 unearned runs against the Angels, but the Angels did come back and tag the loss on the bullpen of the Oakland A's that day. They'd love something similar here tonight to even up this series. The 28-year-old right-hander most recently pitched Thursday against Kansas City, and he suffered the only loss that the A's took in the 4-game series against the Royals.
Yeah, my go-tos to be successful against Montas today is avoid those splitter counts, because he's got that whiff rate of 51.1% with 24 Ks success versus his fastball, 272 with 7 home runs allowed. You got to avoid those fastballs. You got to be aggressive against him really early, and it counts at first and second pitch.
Well, you can see the shadows this evening, Gooby, are even trickier than they were yesterday. That means heads up in the outfield, which today for Oakland looks a little bit different. Chad Pinder is not out there after being hit by a pitch yesterday. Mark Canha, Sky Bolt, and Stephen Piscotty, who, by the way, has not committed an error in a franchise record 236 games. It's Matt Chapman, Elvis Andrus, Tony Kemp, and Matt Olson in the infield. And you can run on the Oakland A's. As competent as Sean Murphy is as a pitch handler and a receiver, he's thrown out only 1 base runner all year. Frankie Montas on the mound for Oakland.
Yeah, that last error for Piscotty back on July 24, 2018, 7 outfield assists during that stretch. He's been really, really good out there.
Bob Melvin likes to mix and match in both his infield and his outfield. A very different look for him today, as we're ready for baseball. Montas going to work on Upton, Ohtani, and Iglesias to lead things off for the Angels. Well, the winning streak died yesterday and ended at a season-best 6, but the Angels have still won 14 of their last 20. Their offensive success without Mike Trout, and now once again without Anthony Rendon for an undefined period of time, has been admirable. But once again, without some of your big contributors, the other members of the lineup will have to step up.
This might be a tough task early on, especially when you got Montas with a fastball, average fastball this year at 96.9 miles per hour, dealing with that pitch being from the sunshine into the shade, especially with that glaring sun out in center field in the batter's eye.
Underway in Oakland tonight. Upton yesterday was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a walk. That ended a 12-game on-base stretch for Justin. And a fastball is poured in at 96 miles an hour. Edwin Moscoso behind the plate tonight. And he is the junior member of this crew. That's the senior member of any crew, Joe West, who's over at second base tonight. Edwin Moscoso has now been behind the plate for 16 games this year. That's the most behind home plate of any American League umpire this season.
That's amazing, the number of games behind there. Yeah, wow.
I mean, for a junior member too. It's just, I guess it's the way the the way the dice roll, the way it shakes out. A ball and 2 strikes to Justin Upton, and he chases 99 with no success. A strikeout starts the night for Frankie Montas.
Montas running that fastball, 99 upstairs. That's one of those spots where it's a difficult pitch to see early in the game here, and Upton unable to catch up to that. Upton's been great on non-fastballs, but that fastball spotted just exactly where he wanted to run it. Gets a swing and miss.
Let's see if Montas stays with his firm stuff against Shohei Ohtani, who was 1 for 5 yesterday, DHing in the opener. Starts him with a fastball for a strike. Shohei at 267, 17 big boys, and 45 driven in. Terrific numbers at around the 33% mark of the season. Another fastball fouled off. Shohei was on at that time.
real good
He's had
numbers.
some success.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 RBIs with 2 home runs. 462. He had a good swing that 0-1 fastball. Imagine now he's going to see a splitter.
And it is a splitter in the dirt. Yeah, Montes, not dissimilar from what we talked about yesterday with Sean Manaea. I mean, he'll throw an occasional wrinkle outside of his normal repertoire, but he is fastball split to the left-handed bats, fastball slider to right-handed hitters, primarily speaking. And we've already seen his big-time velocity today. Another split, fouled, or rather sent on the ground to the right side of the infield for out number 2.
My Hyundai key for the game today for the Angels to even up this series, going the tubes today. Don't want to wait anymore. First or second pitch against Montas this year. .333 batting average. 4 home runs allowed in those first 2 pitches in an at-bat.
I'm with you on that one.
You like
that
the tubes,
was on the Completion Backwards Principle album. Yeah.
Yes.
Your last 2 tunes, I actually know what you're talking about. If you can keep it to late 80s Northern California bands, I might be able to follow along.
Yeah, I'm working hard on these ones here. I'm usually trying to find the perfect one, but I'm also trying to match it up with you too, Matt.
Jose Iglesias with 2 gone and the bases empty. 4 for 5 yesterday in the opener. And batting third today, as high as he's hit in the order this year for Joe Madden. Iglesias has not seen a whole lot of Frankie Montes. 1 plate appearance, it resulted in a strikeout. And there's the slider swung on and missed. Joe's doing a little play-by-play as we speak.
And he's throwing that downward tilt at 90 on a slider.
2-strike pitch. Got him with the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Frankie Montes feeling himself a little bit here in a 1-2-3 start to the ball game. Well, despite the win yesterday and a stretch of 4 consecutive victories, Canna, Chapman, and Olsen off the top. Jed Lowry, Sean Murphy, Steven Piscotty 4 through 6. Elvis Andrus hit 9th yesterday. He bats 7th tonight. Tony Kemp hit 2nd yesterday. He's in the 8th spot today. And Sky Bolt gets a start in center field. Andrew Heaney on the mound for the Halos tonight, making starting assignment number 12 on the season, number 101 in his career. He's been very good, having won his last 3 assignments. Mark Canna, Matt Chapman, and Matt Olson line up to go to work against him in the home half of the first. And Andrew Heaney's night in Oakland is underway. We were talking about this during the commercial break, guys. The fact that Mark Canna tried the sunglasses yesterday at this time of night He struck out in his first plate appearance, and he hasn't put him on since.
Yeah, that was on 3 pitches, including a big-time curveball from Dylan Bundy to finish him off looking at first at bat.
Canna was hitless yesterday, 0 for 2, 2 walks. He was also hit by a pitch. One of the 4 hit batsmen yesterday on this side of the scorecard. There were 5 hit altogether in last night's series opener. The ball and a strike to Mark Canha. Oakland has been very good this year, as we talked about, a 4-game winning streak. They sit atop the pack in the division. However, if you peel back the layers on their record, they are a sub-500 team within the AL West. 11-13 against teams in the division. If nothing else, that gives teams like the Astros, the Angels, a little hope that they can run them down this year. And on the appeal, they say Canha swung the bat, and Andrew Heaney has a strikeout to start the night.
Boy, so effective, that curveball. Clearly a swing by Mark Canha after 3 straight fastballs. Tried to sell it, was hoping, but he realized it. Yeah, he went.
Here's Matt Chapman now. He's put together a 4-game hitting streak after a 1-for-4 opener yesterday with a double. The 2019 All-Star hitting just .221 at the start of play tonight, and he leads the American League in strikeouts. A ball and a strike to count to Matt Chapman, batting with 1 out and the bases empty, just underway tonight. So we mentioned for Andrew Heaney, guys, making his 101st career start tonight. 50 at home, 50 on the road. As we know, with Andrew's back of the baseball card, he has been a little bit more effective at Angel Stadium than he has away from home. But this year it's been different. His home ERA in 6 starts over 5. His home road ERA, and he's making his 6th road start tonight, is a very respectable 3.62. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chapman.
Ooh, that's a good pitch. That's all over the lower third. Chapman got lucky on that one after a changeup he chased on the upper quadrant. Fastball right in the heart of the plate. That might have been a product of Suzuki kind of moving the glove out of the strike zone.
Thinking the same thing. And Heaney ends up losing him on ball 4. That's a shame.
My go-to is for Andrew Heaney to have another game and continue the stretch he is on, in which he's won 3 in a row, is get chases on his curveball. We saw that earlier against Mark Canha, and ride that fastball the upper corners of the strike zone. He's got 35 strikeouts with his fastball, a lot of them just above the strike zone. With his curveball, 37.5% whiff percentage and rate on his curveball / slider.
Here's the first baseman, Matt Olson, 1 for 3 with a walk and an RBI yesterday. And Olson has started with a strike. A .290 hitter, 18 homers, 48 runs batted in, leads the A's in all the power categories, and is likely headed to Denver as an all-star a month from now. What, less than a month away. Quickly 0-2 from Heaney. Fastball's getting Andrew ahead. You know, Joe Madden was asked on his media call today before the game, Gooby, about the fastball increase, the usage increase from Heaney. And Joe was very candid when he said, man, I wish he pitched like that all the time.
Yeah, there's been a number of games when Andrew has struggled, Matt, where he felt he needed to throw more fastballs. There's been some games, first 3-4 innings, and he's just throwing the fastball by hitters, and all of a sudden, as the game progresses, he turns into throwing more curveballs and changeups. I've always been a believer, until the hitters tell you they have adjusted to a certain pitch, you stay with it until that adjustment is made.
13 pitches, 11 of them fastballs to start this one. There's one that's hit a bunch the other way, but playable for Upton for out number 2. Yeah, let's take a look at a comparison over his last 2 starts based on his previous 9, and it backs up what you mentioned there, Gooby.
Yeah, you get a higher chase rate, you get more ground balls. Opponent's batting average down nearly 70 points. That's a 68-point drop, and that's 74% more fastballs thrown. You see where he's really effective running that fastball upstairs. Kind of like Sean Manaea we saw yesterday at times. If he can run that fastball up, he's going to get a ton of swing and misses, and he has 35 times with his fastball this season.
There's the switch hitter, Jed Lowry, hitless yesterday with a couple of walks. Lowry in from the right side where he's had better success this year, and he's behind Heaney 0-1. Chapman, the 2-out base runner, off first with a modest lead. A ball and a strike.
Let's go back to that fastball. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Last 2 starts, 14 strikeouts. The 4-seam fastball, a lot. Upper third or above the strike zone. It's a couple. Really, with his changeup, he's able to run that fastball. Lower third just for effect, but that fastball upstairs, getting a lot of chases and swing and misses. 14 of them.
Lowry sends a fly ball out to the sun field in right for Ward, and that's where the side is retired. Nothing comes of the 1-out walk. Scoreless to start the night in Oakland.
Rendon on this play right here, diving, injured his right triceps on this diving play right here. Rendon goes down, taken out of the ball game, and as of right now, not expected to hit the IL and expected to miss only a few days. Joe Maddon said today he went outside with the training staff and was able to go through a couple of tests. Scooby, Matt, good news, and Joe Maddon very optimistic he'll be back when the Angels return home.
Kian Wong getting an opportunity in place of Anthony Rendon. And again, fingers crossed he can avoid a 3rd IL stint.
No doubt.
Angels back to work on Frankie Montas. Jared Walsh leads things off. Walsh, Ward, and Wong. Jared's cobbled together a 3-game hitting streak. 1 for 5 yesterday with a big 2-run double that gave the Angels some late life. A lot of life on the Montas fastball tonight. Walsh behind 0-2.
Yeah, 96, 97. This might be one of those times where it might be better off for Walsh if Montas goes with a secondary pitch, because he's crushed non-fastballs this year. 312, slugging .616 with 8 home runs on non-fastballs.
lays off one upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes.
So live, I talked to Frankie Montas when the A's were here, and one thing he mentioned, Gooby and Matt, was I need to be smarter in using the rubber and the push-off and the slope and not try to create and generate velocity. And he's standing taller and balls flying off without hand. You can explain that better, Gooby.
Hard stuff.
What that means.
Well, I mean, I've always been a guy that was a drop and drive guy to generate as much arm speed as possible. If you just stand straight up and go straight downhill, you don't get as much on your fastball, in my opinion, and it becomes a more hittable pitch. So I've always believed using that lower half and driving and pushing off the pitching rubber like a sprinter does on that block.
Splitter fouled away.
His last outing.
How about making him?
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just saying, how about making a mistake with a splitter and let Jared do his damage on it, because he has done damage on that pitch this year. We'll quantify that for you in a moment. Ball and 2 strikes from Montes. Got him with the fastball, man.
High percentage of pitches today, fastballs, the way he's been throughout the whole season.
So it's all with
all
fastball.
3 of his strikeouts have come on heaters, yeah.
Yeah, 41 now strikeouts with his heater this year.
4 up, 4 down against Frankie Montes, and now it's Taylor Ward who has hit safely in 4 in a row at the start of play tonight.
And notice how often Montas does look at velocity, Gooby, up on the board. His last out against Kansas City, the highest average he's had in the fastball at 97 throughout the game.
Man, he is picking up right where he left off with his sinker. And again, we talked about his outing on Thursday. He gave up 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. Took a loss. But both he and Bob Melvin after that game agreed separately that he had his best stuff, specifically his best sinker of the year in that losing assignment.
Yeah, when he gets on a roll, he can dominate, but he's susceptible to a big inning going against him. So you need some traffic, some pressure, and see if he can rear back and try to get a fastball by. That's when you jump on it, especially early against him in the count.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Ward.
Fletcher's showing us there, Gooby, with his gestures with his hands, talking about fastballs and that sinker. It's one of the, those guys that you have to allow yourself as a hitter, let him generate the power for you. If you get too long, you can get into a lot of trouble.
Murphy wants it on the corner. He missed his location, and Ward lines it into right field. That's a fine plate appearance by Taylor Ward.
Well, you're talking about a hitter that really is taking advantage of the playing time and using the whole field. He can turn on a pitch for a power swing, but also even with that bat being shattered, is strong enough to hit that one on the line to get it in the right field for another hit to right field for Taylor Ward. It's a perfect time now with Wong at the plate to put something on. You mentioned this in the opening as far as running. It's a good time to hit and run.
Wong was hitless yesterday in 1 plate appearance. Came on mid-game, and on the first pitch from Montes, pops it into that expansive foul territory. Chapman can't make the catch. Not even the 2-time Gold Glover could run that one down. He had a long way to go.
Well, how about that speed? That's a big guy running down there and tracking that one.
That ball came back on him right here. He's thinking the ball's going to be over his left shoulder, and look what happens.
That's one of those things too, especially and your left fielder is getting close to you, and you're just running like that. You're just hoping that he can hear you saying, "I got it, I got it."
And in the Oakland dugout, they're always watching Matt Chapman because of that right hip injury. Went down pretty hard on it there. So 0-1 the count to Kean Wong. 1 out, 1 on. Ward aboard on the game's first base hit. Kurt Suzuki waiting on deck for the Angels.
Well, the highest ultimate zone rating on our Arenado. We know how good that third baseman is. Now with the Cardinals, Matt Chapman at 38.4, Anthony Rendon at 35.7%. It's since 2015 the tops as far as third baseman defensively and how they save runs.
Wong squares up a fastball but can't get it much farther than Bolt in center field. And there are two away.
Yeah, Ward was on the move on that one, but Wong hit that one hard, but in the air. You ideally, with a hit and run on, you want to try to hit it on the ground, especially with infielders moving.
So 2 out with the runner aboard now for Kurt Suzuki. You know, with the discussion and the edict that came down today from Major League Baseball regarding foreign substances on the ball, how about this for a thought? Because the art of the sinker, the usage of the sinker has declined pretty steadily over the last few years, right, with launch angle technology and everybody swinging up on the baseball. The four-seam fastball has become a much more prevalent weapon than the sinker. If these new rules prohibiting the sticky stuff change the way pitchers go about their business in terms of their repertoire, maybe we will see more ground balls. Maybe we will see more action on base. Maybe it's an unintended consequence of this new rule in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Joe Madden said it exactly that same way on the pregame show. It's going to bring the action back into the game of baseball. When you have that two-seamer, you have that ground ball, you're showing that athleticism in the infielders and the guys running and hitting and running, and it's doing a lot of action-type plays.
All heaters from Montes so far for the most part this afternoon.
Also mad, and Gooby, you can relate even better, but how about moving the ball around becomes a part of pitching again? A lot of times you go up to home plate, you ask about a pitcher and the scouting is he just moves the ball around. Sinker, cutter, little fade. I think it's just great for the game.
1-2 to Suzuki. Caught him looking. That's 4 strikeouts through 2 scoreless innings to start the night for Frankie Montes.
So 17 pitches in the first inning, 11 were strikes, a walk and a strikeout. And for Andrew Heaney, taking a deep dive on road games, outstanding and great play for him to pitch here in the Bay. 1.09 with that whip, 185 runners in scoring position, 12 punch-outs and 27 at-bats. Scooby, that's going pitching. By the way, Matty, the stirrups, a little Andy Messersmith, a little Mickey Lolich. What do you think, Doug Rao?
Nice.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Love that look.
Doug Rau in the '77 World Series when Tommy went out to get him. I can get this guy, Tommy.
Yeah, right.
Shut up, Dougie. You're done. Sean Murphy leads things off in the Oakland half of the second. It'll be Murphy, Piscotty, and Andrews here for the A's, scoreless early on tonight. Here's another one on Heaney for you, Jose. Tonight is his 96th career start as an Angel. We mentioned it was his 101st overall, but again, he made a handful to begin his career with the Marlins. Tonight, he passes Bartolo Colon on the Angels' all-time games started list.
Outstanding. He does kept the fastball going. He and Montage, a lot of Phoebes here today.
No swing on the appeal down to first, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Sean Murphy.
Mark Hanna's in the dugout going, hey, was that the same swing? You rang me up at first base.
Yeah. The 1-2. When you combine the lifetime averages of this group of 9 Oakland hitters against Andrew Heaney, you come up with a .232 batting average. The only one of these guys that's had success against Heaney, oddly, is Elvis Andrews, who bat third this inning.
And that's after a lot of reps from Elvis Andrews in those years with the Texas Rangers. And Gooby and I were talking, that swing is starting to look a lot more like the old Elvis Andrews.
He's starting to drive the ball, especially, a couple of bats up the middle, but he's still going to look to hit the ball the other way. He turns on pitches early in counts. That's 3 pretty good curveballs in this at bat. And Sean Murphy has either taken or fouled off. I mean, he's hitting .381 versus the Angels this year with a home run and 8 RBIs.
7th pitch of the at-bat on its way to Sean Murphy, who's sticking around in this 2-strike count. Yeah, he's been a real problem for the Angels this year. Not just in terms of hits, but RBIs. He's been very productive for Oakland in this season series. And he'll see an 8th pitch in the plate appearance.
Boy, when I saw that sign being put down as a changeup, I'm still a believer when you throw a slow curveball and then you throw a changeup, it's almost the same exact speed, so you have a good chance as a hitter of making good contact, but that was spotted very well by Andrew Heaney. That's the only reason why Murphy didn't hit that one well, but he still made contact on it.
Here's the next one, too. How about 9 pitches in the at-bat? Here's some of the productivity we were talking about. Sean Murphy averages an RBI every 2.6 at-bats against the Angels. The only A's in history with a better at-bat per RBI rate, Dick Allen in '77, and yes, Dick Allen spent the end of his career as an A, and Jose Canseco at the prime of his powers in 1990. Got him. Finally took care of him with the high fastball.
That's a great spot where he gets a lot of hitters to chase above the strike zone. Going back to what we saw that StatCast 3D, a lot of those fastballs weren't strikes. They were above the strike zone, yet hitters think they can catch up to it. Clearly, you see Murphy way late. No contact.
Good to see Suzuki insisting, because he called the same pitch before with the same location upstairs, and Heaney able to get it in a better spot.
A 9-pitch at bat finally ends in Heaney's favor, and now it's Stephen Piscotty.
Really impressive as far as chase. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they go about it differently too, right? I mean, not all fastballs are created equal. Montes is the harder thrower. But they both get a lot of chases on that pitch.
Andrew Heaney is built around with his fastball's deception, throwing across his body, hides the baseball behind the back hip for a long period of time.
2 balls and a strike to Piscotty. A non-starter yesterday was was a late substitution into the game. He's hit safely in 3 straight starts. Back foot.
But so far in this game, Andrew Heaney's had a tight late break to his curveball. Pretty good spin.
We're going to flash back to that 2-1 pitch for you. Here's the 2-2. First of all, he struck him out with a fastball. Set it up so nicely with the slider on his back foot. A slurvy slider, if you will.
Yeah, this one he stays on top. The late break to it. If you make contact, that's off of your back leg. Not only you pull it foul, but off your back leg, and then he fires a fastball at 94. Yeah, Matt, I still, I mean, you look at some things, we'll say it's a slider, some will say it's a curveball. I still say it's a slurve, the combination of the two, because it's not that traditional 12-6 break you'll see on a curveball. It's more of a, probably like a 2 to 8 break from the left side as far as a breakable, so it's a slurve in my opinion.
I'm with you on that. And you're right. It's amazing how you look at the different resources that we have access to, and they all call it something different seemingly. There it was again. A ball and a strike to Elvis Andrus, who's hitting 4 in a row, and once again is the only Oakland hitter with a reasonably good track record against Andrew Heaney. It's the same pitch that he couldn't get a call on earlier.
Really like his
ball
pace.
and 2 strikes.
His pace on the mound today. See the sign, throw the baseball. Matt Wise, big on that.
A pitch away from striking out the side. Andrews rips one foul in left.
Now you go back to a couple of years ago for Andrew Heaney when he struggled, especially with 2 strikes, as his breakable got too much of the strike zone. It's exactly what happened there to Andrews. And fortunately for Andrew Heaney and the Angels, he just pulled it foul. That's a pitch you want to throw out of the strike zone down and in, very similar to you would try to throw it against Piscotty, but this got the strike zone and allowed him to turn on that one. He had a tough time finishing off hitters a few years ago with his breakable. He has a much better chance of running a fastball up and in for a strikeout.
Still a ball and 2 strikes to Elvis Andrus. On the appeal, no swing.
Yeah, he held up on that one.
Man, you're feeling generous.
I'm just trying to even out because everybody always crushes me. I say every time he thinks about swinging, the intent to swing, for me, it should be a strike. Just try to play it even a little bit, every once in a while.
I got you. Man, you're walking like a politician's fine line today. You won't call it a slider or a curve. You're calling it a slurve. Hit him right down the middle, Gooby. No one will get too mad at you. And Andrus sends a fly ball out to center field. A 1-2-3 second for Andrew Heaney. Return to full capacity at Angel Stadium this Thursday versus the Tigers for half-price tickets. Visit angels.com/reopen and use promo code REOPEN. Thank you, fans. And that man is a teacher. He knows things about stuff. Love that shirt. Juan Lagares leads things off in the Halos half of the third. Lagares, Fletcher, and Upton against Frankie Montas, who's been matched pitch for pitch by Andrew Heaney. A couple of scoreless innings to start this one tonight. First homer as an Angel came yesterday. Juan has hit safely in 3 in a row. Had an additional RBI later on a base hit. So one of his better nights as an Angel hitter coming to open this series. 2 balls and a strike.
That's a pretty good indication of Montas' power sinker. That started right in that inside part of the plate, but then sank down and in. That's at 96.
Two and two. Montas really fastball heavy the first couple of innings. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of the slider like the one we just saw. Here's the 2-2 pitch home to Lagares. Full count now. Ohtani would bat 4th this inning. Should anybody have success setting the table. Full count pitch.
Montas has a walk in his game, though. Although he's been a little bit better this year as far as strikeout to walk ratio.
And there's his first walk in his last 2 starts.
With Fletch coming into play, let's take a look at our Frontier Play Sense. Plate coverage on all pitches. That's a fastball upstairs at 90 going the other way. A changeup, even off balance. Fletch still lines it up the middle. Breaking ball, curveball down and in. Just missed his first home run of the season. Then another sinker away. Even though the body is moving, back foot is moving, still punched it to right field for his 4th hit, 4th time in his career for Fletch with a 4-hit game.
Leadoff hitter aboard on the base on balls. First pitch to Fletcher. He squares around and then takes a strike. Yeah, David has actually not only really enjoyed the head-to-head season series against the A's, he likes to swing the bat in this ballpark. Not everybody can claim that. Last 4 games in this stadium, 9 for 14. 3 straight multi-hit games here at the Oakland Coliseum. Chopper. Lagares was running on the pitch, and that's the only thing that keeps the Angels out of the double play. Runner at second with 1 gone.
That's what you like about having runners on the move. A ground ball every once in a while will find a hole. But now you have a man in scoring position for Justin Upton. By the way, a .415 batting average for Fletch in this ballpark, and that's not a small sample size. You're talking 82 at-bats in his career. Now 83 on that ground out.
Upton struck out to open the ball game. He is 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts in the series so far. An opportunity here with a runner in scoring position. The Angels were 4 of 11 last night in the loss. Upton doesn't waste any time. That's out to right center field, and that's going to drop in. Lagares being waved around to score, and the Angels are the first to get on the board tonight.
And that's why you put a hit and run on, you get into scoring position, and that's why you're aggressive. Even though he didn't square it up, a lot of success against Montas on the first pitch. .372 batting average on the first pitch seen against him. Let's put that one in play. Spacious outfield here. RBI for Upton, 31st of the year. I love that. I love when you have action put on, creating runs, just like that. Halos up 1-0, and now Shohei, you might see him swinging at the first pitch.
He did that in his first at-bat, ended up grounding out later in the plate appearance. He's got a runner aboard, a run in with one away. So the Angels, who began play with a .284 batting average with runners in scoring position, the best mark in the league, have cashed in on their first opportunity tonight. That's another thing that was weird about yesterday's loss, Scooby. I mean, not only did the Angels out-hit Oakland, they had more success with runners in scoring position. The A's were only 2 for 10 RASP yesterday, but that big 5-run inning was enough for them last night.
Yeah, what it happens too, Matt, because you fall behind like that, even though you're getting your opportunities to get base hits with runners in scoring position, it kind of slows you down from being aggressive as far as hitting runs when you're down by 5. When it's a close game, tie game, you can do a lot of different things to put people in motion. So that motion play results in a run.
Two-0 pitch to Ohtani, fouled away. Hey, how about this quote from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. When asked about the MVP and understanding it's only June, he said, Ohtani deserves the award. Nothing that I'm doing right now tops his pitching and hitting ability.
I mean, he's been great, Vlad Jr., but yeah, he's exactly 100% correct what Ohtani has done. It's phenomenal.
2-2 now. Well, Vlad Jr. and the Blue Jays are at home at Salem Field in Buffalo tonight. And they trail the New York Yankees in the 9th by a 6-5 score. Guerrero's 1 for 3. He is not homered, but he leads Major League Baseball with 22 homers, 56 RBIs. He leads in on base and slugging, yet he says Ohtani is the MVP. We would agree. Full count now.
It's another split in the dirt. Good take by Shohei Ohtani.
Do you get cued here and send Upton?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to press the issue.
Let's go. 1985. Let's go. Montes thinking that way perhaps as well. I mean, this is Ricky Upton we're talking about after all.
Yes. In the house that Ricky built. And we can say made better now by Ricky Upton.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There he goes. And Ohtani, with those strong hands of his, somehow comes close to a homer on that swing.
It's amazing how strong he is.
Wow, it's not even his best pass, right? And he almost hit it out the other way.
We just watched Fletcher in our Frontier Play Senses punching the ball the other way. Shohei's punching the ball the other way results in about 330 feet.
I mean, that was all hands. He let Montes' velocity do all the work there, and he almost hit a homer. Still a full count to him. Let's see if they send Upton again.
And Ohtani's such a smart hitter. He sees a lot of room on that left side in the infield. If Montas is going to stay away against him, whether it's a splitter or a fastball, he can just hit a ball right that way.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There goes Jay up. And Ohtani shoots it to first. Better pick somebody else. Man, Olson's a good one. Holy cow. That was a rocket that Matt Olson turned into an inning-ending double play.
Wow. That ball was smoked. That's 2 days in a row. He's hit some rockets on the ground, resulting in nothing to keep that swing together. With a real good swing, Matt Olson is a fabulous fielder at first base. Gets off the bag. That baseball is right on him before he knows it, and a quick throw. Anderson, he wasn't really quite expected to throw that quickly from Matt Olson, but not only a good throw, accurate throw, you have a chance at a quick double play with Shohei running. Never easy to turn to against him, but a job well done, a 3-6-3 double play.
And he had to make a pick on a ball in the dirt, as the receiving end of the final out. That is a fine play. So it keeps it a 1-0 ball game as the Angels are able to crack through on the RBI single by Upton. And now Tony Kemp's got a leadoff base hit, leading things off in the third.
You mentioned how
First
hard
Oakland hit of the game.
Ohtani's hit the ball on the ground. He's had 3 ground ball outs at over 100 miles per hour exit velocity.
So the Angels put their leadoff hitter aboard in the top of the inning, and they translate it into a run. Oakland puts its leadoff hitter aboard here in the bottom of the third. And now it's the switch hitter, Skye Bolt. Three strikeouts, a walk, and a single so far on Heaney's line. Didn't have a chance to really talk about Skye Bolt much yesterday because he came on as a defensive replacement. Actually, as a pinch runner, I stand corrected. What a weird season he's had. He was with the A's in spring training, DFA'd on April 1st on opening day, claimed by the Giants. So drove across the Bay Bridge, went 0 for 1 in 2 games with the Giants, and was traded back to the A's for cash on May 5th, and then dispatched to AAA Las Vegas. Recalled from Vegas on June 1. And has gone 1 for 9 since.
Be hard pressed to get a better name in baseball than this name, though. Skye Bolt.
Oh, yeah. It'd be even better if he was like a 290-pound catcher. I'm more of a fan of irony when it comes to that kind of thing. He does run. His skill set befits the name. The 1-2 from Heaney. Popped him up. Fletcher waving everybody off, and there is one away. How about a quick word from Kia?
Experience Kia's tough and ready lineup of all-wheel drive SUVs.
Mark Canha was a strikeout victim to start the home first. It's the same way he opened the home first last night. 1 out, 1 on for him here, and a 1-0 Angels lead in the third. Canha has now struck out 6 times in 16 at-bats against Andrew Heaney in his career. And takes a... What?
Takes a strike for a ball.
Yeah, I'm ready. Wow. I don't think there was anything wrong with the presentation on that pitch. I just think that Heaney and Suzuki didn't get the call that time.
And both of them are looking at disbelief.
Stand correct. Andrew wants to make sure Kemp hasn't forgotten about him. Kemp has stolen 3 bases this year. Kemp sneaking off the bag.
That's a great
pitch
job.
to Canha's rocketed foul.
This is a great job by Andrew Heaney to just hold the ball. You see Kemp trying to time it, get a bigger lead, but then as he held it, he stopped and had to retreat back to the bag. He got a huge lead. So that gives you a better chance if he hits a ground ball to that left side of the infield to get a double play turn. Because he's going to be further away from the bag, especially it's not an easy double play turn potentially where the infield is set up on the left side. Heaney's got 6 double plays turned behind him this year.
Canha fouls that one off.
And he fouled off
1-2.
with a quick pitch. Shohei Ohtani's in the dugout. I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What about that quick pitch I threw? I held the ball a little bit longer. It had that discernible stop, but I was called for a balk.
Why does it feel like the Angels like to do that kind of stuff to Mark Canha? There's a little thing here between he and the Angels.
Yeah, I think you might be on to something there, Matt. I think you might be right.
One-two pitch. That's well hit out to right center field, and it's going to split Lagares and Ward. Kemp will come around, waved around third. He'll score without a play, and Oakland's tied it at 1 apiece. That was a weird one. I felt like somebody could have made a play there.
Yeah, and after it was done, they're still talking to each other, Lagares and Ward. That's a play, I think one of them has to make the play on it. Off the bat, and even the way Canha reacted, he thought it was going to be tracked by somebody in the outfield.
Maybe not. I mean, that ball just kept carrying away from both defenders.
And you saw Taylor Ward look towards Juan Lagares.
And now Matt Chapman. So it's the same formula for Oakland as the Angels enjoyed in the top of the inning. Get the leadoff hitter on, score a run. The difference is here with 1 out, Oakland has a runner in scoring position. Chapman's late on 92 somehow, and it's 0-2. Check the count, 0-1. 0-1 the count to Matt Chapman. A 1-1 ball game on the RBI double by Mark Canha. Let's get the count right. 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes is the count to Matt Chapman. Recall Chapman drew a walk in the first inning. after Heaney failed to get a call on a 2-2 pitch that was clearly bottom of the strike zone. That's into left field. Upton's up. Canna's being waved around. 2-1 A's.
I still believe against Matt Chapman, because that's a changeup down. That's below the strike zone. He is so susceptible to a fastball. When you're throwing off-speed pitches, he's going to wear out those pitches, whether it's a breaking ball or a changeup. Saw him late on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Good point.
Going back to what Joe Madden said, just don't go away from your fastball.
Chapman's heating up. He's 9 for his last 19. Remember the last time the Angels were up here in May, we were talking about how cold Chapman was, and it was almost fingers crossed that you could sneak out of here before he got going. Well, he got going, and the Angels are experiencing that firsthand this week. Matt Olson fly to left in his first at-bat tonight. One pitch. Well, it was a 2-strike count that got away from Heaney on the RBI double to Canna. Let's see if he can finish Olson here with a 2-strike count. He's thrown him everything here. Started him with a curveball, 4-seam fastball, and then the changeup was fouled off. Let's see what he has on 1 and 2. On the appeal, he checked it, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. RBI double by Canna, RBI single by Chapman. He doesn't want to throw him a 2-strike fastball here, it would appear, Gooby. Almost didn't like where I saw Suzuki setting up, but it works out for the Angels 2 away. Let's take you back to the Canna double and see how the conditions might have aided Oakland here. Take a look at the wind blowing out, and a drive is good for an extra 3 feet because of that wind in that direction, and that explains why it looked like either Lagares or Ward could have gotten there, but the ball kept running.
And even by the swing for Cannon, he felt that there was a chance that ball was going to be run down in the outfield, but they did have that late carry to it.
Here's Jed Lowry now. How about that for the use of technology? Not every bell and whistle that we have on TV these days explains things. That one really did. That was terrific.
Yeah, that was really cool how there was that little extra, that carry, because of the wind direction going out to right as compared to being knocked down in left field.
0-1 the count to Lowry, who flied to right in his first at-bat tonight. And Lowry sends that one to center field. Lagares is there to put the finishing touches on a 2-run inning. Oakland has flipped the score through 3. They lead it by a run. Return to full capacity this Thursday against the Tigers. The first 5,000 kids ages 3 to 13 will receive a youth Mike Trout jersey, courtesy of Angels Radio AM 830. Visit angels.com/promotions. It's being modeled in the Angels radio booth as we speak by Terry Smith.
Yes, ballpark food. Love ballpark food. That might be a little question we got today on the Gooby Tuesdays. I love rub it out at the ballpark. Good food. That's your one time you can just enjoy yourself and take a little chance.
Just let it go.
Yes.
I'm with you. First pitch slider is in for a strike to Jose Iglesias, leading things off in the Halos fourth. Iglesias, Walsh, and Ward. Good to have you along with us tonight on Bally Sports. Angels trying to even up the series after a loss yesterday that snapped their 6-game winning streak. 1-1 to Iglesias. A walk and an RBI single is how the Angels scored a run last inning, and that's a hard hit ball right at Stephen Piscotty for out number 1. Base is empty now for Jared Walsh, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat.
Well, you go back to Ohtani swing and now Iglesias swing. That's 2 baseballs hit right on the money in a row. It results in 3 outs for Montas.
We were talking about Walsh and the success he's had against the split finger fastball in his first at-bat, and kind of begging for Montas to make a mistake with that pitch. How about that slug against the split? The best in baseball.
That's unreal. I mean, so every once in a while you'll see an OPS like that, but a slugging percentage that high? Wow.
Two balls and no strikes. The count to Walsh. 3-0 now. Oakland's starting staff has been very stingy with the base on balls. Their walk rate at 7% is the lowest in the game. And Montas is in a rare 3-0 count here. 3-1. Montas staying with his fastball. That's how he opened the game tonight. Whereas Andrew Heaney has gone away from it second time through the order. The 3-1 pitch.
It's one of those
Jared
things.
knows he took a pass at ball 4.
Yeah, it's one of those things a lot of times as a pitcher, that shake off was on purpose there for Sean Murphy because he knows he's going fastball. But usually, almost every time you see a pitcher, when that number 1 is put down, they always nod yes. And that's one thing pitchers will learn in their career is don't do that, because most hitters think, okay, the fastball's coming, because it's like, all right, I'm going to go right after, challenge him.
Full count pitch. Got him on the fastball. Came back from a 3-0 count to strike out Walsh. And that's 5 tonight for Montas.
Tough after taking and swinging at a pitch above the strike zone. This one at 97, his little sinker at 97. Frees him. 2 strikeouts in the game for Jared Walsh.
2 gone, bases empty now for Taylor Ward. Ward singled back in the second. Again, got to pick somebody else. Olson's going to get everything even close to him. Angels go away in order in the 4th.
Bye, Matt
Here's our
Chapman.
ballpark.
Bye. He's leaving.
He's leaving.
You're too hot right now. Go. Grab some
Our
food.
ballpark view from the T-Mobile coverage cam. See you, Matt.
It's okay.
Come back for the Yankee series.
Yeah, you got your hit. Just go head home.
Sean Murphy leads things off in the Oakland half of the fourth. Murphy, Piscotty, and Andrews as Andrew Heaney looks to get it back on track after allowing the 2 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the third. So we were talking about the fastball usage, and here's some data. In the first inning, Heaney threw 17 pitches, 14 fastballs. His fastball usage dropped to 50% in the next 2 innings. He gets a fly ball to open the fourth, 1 away.
Now batting, number 25, Steven.
And he gets a fly ball out on a fastball. You can see how the wind knocked that baseball down. Not that he squared that up, but you see Upton initially going kind of around, and then he had to come way in on that one as it got knocked down because it was hit high up in the air, but it's really that wind blowing in from left field. Should be an advantage for Heaney using his fastball.
Stephen Piscotty now. Piscotty struck out on a slider back into second. A good one swung over the top of there, and it's 1-1. You know, that number of runs yesterday for the Angels has usually been good enough to win a ball game. And it's true for almost every team. You could do this for every team in Major League Baseball. When they score 5 or more runs, they usually win. And for some, it's 4. That's the magic number. But when the Angels score 5 or more, which, by the way, they've done in 9 straight games, they are 26-5 this year. Last night's was a rare loss with that kind of output. See, Suzuki got up into the Bill Dickey stance there, man. He was up on his feet.
Yes. He said, I want to make sure you don't get this fastball anywhere near the strike zone. See if you get a chase about 3 or 4 feet above the strike zone in that Fletch territory.
2-2. In the air out to right for the second out of the inning. Let's duck away for a quick word from Jack in the Box.
With triple the beef, triple the cheese, and triple the
third, he'll be stopped there. Into second goes Profar with a double. And the Padres in.
Martini with Darvish on deck.
This one chopped to first base and flipped to first, but in the back door from third base comes Cronenworth, and the Padres take a 3-0.
You win when you score 4 or more.
You with 3 hits.
You allow 5
As he
or
takes
more,
strike one on the fastball from Chichi Gonzalez.
And
he just reaches out and pokes it into right field for a base hit. From third comes Profar, and the Padres take a 4-0 lead. You Darvish driving in a run.
They are 6-25 on the year. Oh. I mean, you got to hold them down.
Yeah.
And it's so cliche to say that, you know, winning teams start with good pitching, but it's always true.
Yeah, when you go into that
change up that time
stretch of the 6-game win streak, the ERA on the starters 3.55. So you're doing your job on the mound outside of the 1 start by Alex Cobb, which he had been rolling for a while, struggled in Arizona, but everyone else really throwing the ball effectively as far as the starting rotation.
That ball's a 1.5 feet off the plate, and Andrus is still able to foul it away, and that gets right back to that at-bat you were talking about yesterday, Gooby, when you predicted his base hit to right on a pitch out there.
Yeah, he's always looking away because he's anticipating, well, it's a secondary pitch or even a fastball away. You could tie him up and in. Looks like that's what they're going to try to do. Well, he went away with it, and he still had a good pass at it. Pudge Rodriguez was so good. The Hall of Famers, same type of approach, too. You can try your best pitch away against him. Your nasty slider's a right-handed pitcher, and he was always hitting the ball on the line the other way against you. Yeah, he went.
And they get him to swing at the slider. 4 strikeouts for Heaney in a 1-2-3-4, still a 2-1 Oakland lead. Fifth inning in a still 1-run game. Kean Wong, Kurt Suzuki, and Juan Lagares for the Angels against Frankie Montas. A run on 2 hits for the Angels, 2 runs on 3 hits for Oakland. All the scoring coming in the top and bottom half of inning number 3. Montas has struck out 5 in 4 innings. Back to work. First pitch to Kean Wong is a high slider taken for a strike. Another note to follow up on that story we were talking about last inning about the Angels scoring 5 or more in 9 straight games. The franchise record for consecutive games with 5 or more runs is 11. And that happened early in the 1979 season. That was a division-winning Angels team that year. Line to Olsen for the first out. And time is such a terrible thing sometimes, and I had some time today and I was fascinated by that note. 11 straight games in 1979 scoring 5 or more. So I peeled into it, and included in that stretch was a 3-game sweep of the A's right here in Oakland, where the Angels outscored them 27-5, and Carney Lansford, who was in only his 2nd year in the big leagues, went 9 for 16. First pitch to Kurt Suzuki is a little flare base hit out to right.
That's some serious numbers. By the way, that's the only way you could avoid Matt Olson is a little flare over his head. I was going to say, they're not listening to you. That line drive right at him. This one, and Olson was in the vicinity. I'm thinking, please don't catch that one, too.
Yeah, that's one that you just rather read about that hit than watch it again.
Line drive in the box score.
Yeah, here's Juan Lagares with 1 out and 1 on. Bunting, and bunting it foul. But back in 1979, the Angels were a good team, and they were, as we mentioned, they were the division winner that year. And that was the beginning of some really lean times. Actually, it was the middle of really lean times for the Oakland A's. Charlie Finley had sold off a lot of the stars, including Joe Rudy, to the Angels. And Oakland was the doormat of the American League for about a 3-year period before Billy Martin got here and kind of turned things around. A ball and a strike to count to Juan Lagares. So if this Angels team is going to make a run at that franchise record, 11 straight, scoring 5 or more, they're going to have to pick it up a little bit tonight. 2-1. You'd never guess, Gooby, that the offense would be that capable and that loud without Mike Trout.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. It's been that balance. And, you know, who would expect that Max Stassi to win the AL Player of the Week? We know Shohei Ohtani is a phenomenal player, but the numbers he's been putting up. Justin Upton in the leadoff spot has been fantastic.
Still 2 balls and a strike to Lagares.
That was a long look at Brian Butterfield for Juan Lagares. He had a lot of baseballs on the ground and hit him hard in spring training.
The other way, a rocket into right. Piscotty's on it quickly. Suzuki wrapping around to third, and here come the Halos in the top of the 5th.
Well, Suzuki got around there quick. Piscotty did a nice job of getting that line drive the other way by Juan Lagares. On twice now with a walk, scored a run, and now lines a single. Home run.
Beautiful hitting.
Yeah, that is just great, letting that baseball travel. Motor in there, Kurt Suzuki.
I'm yet to meet a catcher who appreciates the term runs well for a catcher, but I'll go ahead and use it there. Suzuki got around the bag okay. And here's Fletch now, runners at the corners. First ball swinging, an RBI single into center field, and the Angels have tied it in the 5th. 3 straight base hits.
Fletch, automatic runners in scoring position. We were joking about this the other day, Matt, about getting a license plate, a personalized license plate with I and then with the heart. Our runners in scoring position for David Fletcher. He is so good with runners in scoring position, making that contact.
I heart RISP on your license.
Yes.
You could put that on your Kia, and it's time for our Kia player profile. Contact, contact, contact. It is king in the game of David Fletcher, who is now 7 for his last 10, by the way. The undisputed king of contact. And unfortunately, with Nick Madrigal of the White Sox lost for the season after surgery this week, there is no challenger anywhere. I want to get back to that number as Justin Upton takes a strike. Yesterday in the loss, it was the bottom of the order doing all the lifting. The 5 through 9 batters were great. The top of the order left something to be desired. A chance to fix that here. Upton already has an RBI tonight. Lagares and Fletcher aboard with a run in. And he turns over a slider.
Well, Sean Murphy did a nice job of keeping that slider in front of him. Even though he hasn't been throwing out base stealers as well as the pass for Murphy, he's still doing a nice job as far as blocking pitches in the dirt. That was one that looked like it had a chance to get away from him.
David Fletcher in his career now with runners in scoring position. Career, 344. A ball and a strike to count to Justin Upton, looking for more damage here. To the opposite field. Piscotty drifting over into the corner to make the catch. That's going to tag up Lagares and get him into third. Runners at first and third with 2 away for Shohei Ohtani.
Now batting, number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
Well, the last time Ohtani was in there with a runner on, and it happened to be in his 3rd inning at bat, he hit a ball really hard. But Matt Olson turned it into a beautiful 3-6-3 double play. Not only a great play on the ground ball, but receiving the throw in the dirt. So let's keep it away from him.
It was one of those times where Biscotti, I was kind of glad he made that quick throw in the second base, because if Fletch was able to get into scoring position himself in open base, Oakland might have decided to walk Shohei. Now he gets a chance to swing the bat.
That's a good point. First pitch, sliders in the dirt. Three straight one-out singles by the Angels in the inning. It has translated into a run and a rally. Ball and no strikes to Ohtani. Oh, good change that time. The bottom just dropped out of that ball.
Yeah, he took a little bit more off his splitter here. And Shohei way out in front.
A ball and a strike to Ohtani. Checked it. Checked it. Yes, he did. 2-1.
Pretty hard to lay off a high fastball like that. Didn't go.
Another kind of example of how strong his hands are. He can stop all that torque on a dime. 2 balls and a strike. That pitch is giving him fits.
Imagine he's going to try that splitter again, and this time for Juan Lagares, if that gets away from him at all at the plate in the dirt, he's got to be ready to try to score on this one. This is going to be one they'll muscle up on. Maybe can try to throw the splitter a little harder.
Runners at the corners, a run in with 2 gone. If Ohtani has success, Iglesias is next, and then it would be Walsh. Ohtani and Walsh, by the way, each with 45 RBIs. The Angels are the only team in baseball with 2 players that have 45 or more RBIs. We got him again with a split. 1 to tie it in the 5th. Now stay tuned for a message from your SoCal Honda dealers. Single by the Angels David Fletcher in the 5th inning to the bottom of the inning now. And the A's have Tony Kemp, Sky Bolt, and at the top of the order, Mark Canha. 2-2 ball game. Been an entertaining one to watch so far. Tony Kemp singled and scored in Oakland's 2-run third, and Heaney starts him with a strike. Oh, 0-2. Updating you on the numbers we talked about earlier. A lot of fastballs early in the game, and Andrew's kind of gone away from it in innings 2, 3, and 4.
And the velocity on his fastball has been about 90-91 over the last couple of innings. That could be part of it, but still, it's a good fastball, and he runs it upstairs.
Like that, but Kemp lays off, and it's 1-2.
Kemp this year, 5 for 13 versus the Angels.
Yeah, he's been a problem. He gets on base a lot. Did he check it? He did, and it's 2-2.
Well,
he had a 3-walk game on Sunday. Did you think he went around on that one?
Anytime you see a hitter just leave that bat out there, it tells me I'm pretty sure he crossed the plate on that one.
Heaney shakes off Suzuki once. Let's see what he shook to.
Going away from his fastball again.
Yeah, he shook off of it there. I'm assuming he shook off the fastball. It's a full count now. So from 0-2 to a full count. Heaney's walked only one tonight. Here we go, the 3-2 home to Kemp. Got him.
And guess what that was, Matt?
Fastball.
Yes. Rides that one at 93.
That's a 93, though, that plays 95, 97.
Yep.
On perceived velocity, because just watch the way they take pitches. It's not just like they're sitting 93 and taking it nicely. It's like be quick to the baseball. That's where you see also a lot of check swings when guys have a respectable fastball.
Breaking ball starts Sky Bolt with a strike. And Bolt behind 0-2. So here's a 2-strike count. And let's talk about how Andrew has used his fastball in counts like this, Scooby.
And it's not easy to get with a fastball. A lot of whiffs. 26% with a fastball, and chase rate is 65. That is incredibly impressive. 78% usage with 2 strikes. That means he's running that fastball upstairs and getting a lot of swing and misses.
Bolt just flips a drive into foul territory to stay alive. There's that very comfortable visitors bullpen here in Oakland.
It's never a bad time.
Did you see the guys earlier? Oh. They had a towel up to try to shield themselves from the sun. Like, that is about as bootleg as it gets down there, man.
And believe me, there's a few times I was hanging out down in the bullpen there, and you get up quickly, and then you smash your head as you get up quickly because it's so low in there. Bam!
Oh, man. There's exposed wood down there, probably like rusty nails hanging out. So here we go again from 0-2 to a full count. 2-2, 2 balls and 2 strikes rather is the count to Sky Bolt. Sharply hit to the shortstop, Iglesias, for out number 2.
That's the first out on the ground today for Andrew Heaney.
Now batting, number 20, Mark Canha.
I love those ground balls right there, Gooby. You know what? That tells me now with a fastball, he's able to keep these guys busy.
Yeah.
They want to be busy out there, too.
Yes.
And the game goes faster. You save your bullpen.
Hey, Jose, how hard is that as an infielder when you have any action? You're into the 5th inning before a ground ball your way.
You're just telling yourself, don't get on your heels. Don't get on your before you know the ball finds you.
Here's Mark Canha now, 7 in a row, retired by Heaney. I want to know what David Fletcher found so funny in that conversation he was having with Joe West.
It's been going on.
He was yucking it up pretty good.
Since he got on first base with his single, he's been talking to Joe West. So.
You don't think they're talking country music, are they?
With Fletch, you never know.
Yes.
You know what? I think David's speaking Italian to Joe and making fun of him. And Joe has no idea what he's saying.
I think Joe would have stopped the game saying, what? What are you saying?
Yeah, there's no doubt he would have stopped the game. 2 balls and a strike. This year becoming the league leading umpire in terms of games officiated. Nobody's called more games as an umpire than Joe West, and that will punch his ticket to Cooperstown when it's all said and done. Good pitch, 2-2 now.
The day when umpires were more of a story, Gooby, Matt. Back then, characters known as, calling balls and strikes. And
replay has changed that all about, too, because there's not as many arguments. Or discussions, we should say. Discussions. Put it that way. Discussions.
Yeah, good point. 2-2 to Mark Canha. Chopper. Heaney gets there and can't make the transfer. That was going to be a tough play. But the left-handed pitcher coming off the mound had to twirl and throw. It would have had to been executed perfectly, and Canha's aboard on an infield single.
I'm actually okay that he ended up not getting a good grip of that, because that's one of those plays, an off-balance throw goes all the way down in that corner, and all that foul territory, he's just standing at third base.
Two-out base runner, and the discussion about umpires being big stories kind of takes a different turn with the policy that Major League Baseball announced today regarding the foreign substance on a baseball. Here's Matt Chapman with a man on and 2 away. And if you missed the edict, regular checks will take place of all pitchers, regardless of the opposing club's manager request. Any pitcher will be ejected and suspended. Suspensions are 10 games with pay. Clubs and club personnel will also be subject to discipline. Meaning, if somebody is thought to have been encouraging or teaching or aiding and abetting the use of a substance, that person is also subject to league discipline. Steve Cishek up in the bullpen for the Halos. It'd be a tough one to enforce. Like, I didn't know how to do it, but this guy taught me. A lot of hearsay involved, but the league is very firm with this. They want the practice to stop. 2-1. There was a thought too, Gooby, that maybe it wouldn't be the umpires doing the checking, that maybe the same way Major League Baseball employs authenticators at every ballpark, maybe there's a separate set of uniformed personnel that do the checking.
Well, we were talking about Joe West. Joe West will be amongst one of the umpires that checking that. I know it's putting a lot of responsibility on the umpires, and it's tough for them to do that. A lot of times before, if you thought a pitcher was doing something, the manager or the opposing manager would say something.
Remember, Chapman singled on a changeup back in the 3rd. He just swung through a fastball, but he chums on the changeup this time. What a well-executed inning that was by Andrew Heaney.
Shohei Ohtani on a splitter. We know Shohei Ohtani has a nasty splitter. Take a look at the difference between the two and the similarities. That one's around on the seams for Shohei Ohtani. His splitter, Montas, is mainly on the leather, so he's not using the seams to get that friction going down. Very similar as far as velocity on their pitches with the splitter, but a little bit different action. That kind of fades away on the splitter. For Montas, as far as straight down for Shohei Ohtani, you can see right there the difference, Montas and Ohtani, as far as the splitter going straight down for Shohei, a little fade action, but very similar average velocity, 87.5, 87.8 on the splitter.
Great comp out there, Joby. You know, and you as a hitter get out there and say, okay, ask other hitters, so what does it do? It floats in, and it takes you off your swing because of velocity, but then you see Shohei's also, the tip of his fingers are wrapped around the baseball a little bit more than Montas. He's got that sinking action at the end.
Jose Iglesias leading things off in the Angels half of the sixth. Iglesias, Walsh, and Ward. 2-2 our score through 5. Angels stacking together 3 straight one-out singles in their half of the fifth to even the score. Fastball taken to put Iglesias behind 1-2.
Pretty efficient as far as pitch count for Montas with 78. Still with good velocity at 96.
On the ground for Kemp, and there is one away. Time for a word from your Southern California Honda dealers.
Angels Baseball is brought to you with the help of the SoCal Honda dealers. Follow at Helpful Honda, and they can help you too.
One gone, base is empty for Jared Walsh, who struck out twice tonight. You know, this is the time of the night where Frankie Montas has had his home run troubles. Walsh thinking bunt, fouls it away. Montas has allowed 11 homers this year. 6 of those have come when facing the lineup a third time. And not unlike just about every other pitcher on the landscape, the opponents have a little bit more success with each subsequent pass through the order.
Yeah, Matt, 8 home runs allowed at home, only 3 away from home.
That's interesting. I don't know that this is considered a big home run ballpark. Angels had success against him on May 29th at exactly this stage of the game. Third time through, they scored 3 runs on 3 hits. Walsh behind 0-2. Back up the middle, well hit. Bolt lays out and makes the catch. Wow.
Yeah, Montas liking that play. Bolt living up to the name. Bolts after that line drive by Walsh. Fastball up, brought his hands up on that one very nicely on a fastball. And he's playing him to the left center, dives and makes the play. If he doesn't get that, that's probably a triple. On the dive, controls the baseball.
That is covering a lot of ground
sent
out
a bolt out to Bolt. And then the very next pitch to Taylor Ward turns into an inning ending out. Some defensive momentum in a still 2-2 game. On Valley Sports is brought to you with the help of the SoCal Honda dealers. Follow @Helpful Honda and they can help you too. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Got a 2-2 ball game tonight as the Angels try to even up this series in Oakland. Andrew Heaney back to work in the bottom of the 6th inning as he draws the meat of the A's order here. Matt Olson, Jed Lowry, Sean Murphy. And as dangerous as this part of the order is, Heaney has handled it, keeping this trio hitless 0 for 6.
This is where his mentality ought to be, Gooby. Hey, I get through this inning, give my offense a chance because you want to win this ballgame.
Yeah,
you on the mound.
You gotta be greedy and say, I want the W.
Yes,
I want the W.
And he's in front of Matt Olson, 1-2. 6 strikeouts for Andrew tonight. Again, the only trouble came in the 3rd. 2 runs on 3 hits.
We had tricked by that 94, but that's good stuff right there, Matty. That's good 94 right there.
1-2 to Olson. Emergency hack, and it turns into a base hit.
Look, another one of those breakables in the strike zone after late on fastballs. It almost looks like Joe may look to the bullpen. This is too much of the strike zone. Even though he didn't crush that baseball, it's a pitch he can make contact. As you see him, he's shorting up. He's choked up on the bat. He's trying to put the ball in play. He's got a shot at that with a breakable in the strike zone.
Those long arms, he does not want to see any fastball again.
That's going to be all for Heaney. They want to turn around Lowry to have him bat from the other side. Pitching change. We'll be right back. I don't like that. Back out there for the 6th. He lets Matt Olson get on base on a 2-strike count, and then that's it. So 5+ innings of work for Andrew. Struck out 6, allows the 2 earned runs. He will not be in a position to win the ball game. And he hands it off to Steve Cishek with a runner on and nobody out. Jed Lowry, the switch hitter, will now turn around and bat from the left side of the plate. So, you know, the pitching change is always the place where the manager is the most vulnerable to second guessing. You push the right button and you're a genius. If it doesn't work, it's your fault. What Joe's thinking with Heaney tonight is that he's into the lineup for a 3rd time. And opponents hit .400 against Heaney the 3rd time through the order. So that's that side of the decision. The counter argument would be you're into the bullpen in the middle of the ball game, and the bullpen had to do a lot of heavy lifting yesterday. So you're looking potentially for 12 more outs from your bullpen, and Cishek's behind 3-0 now.
Yeah, I know those numbers. You look at what the batting average, batting left-handed for Jed Lowry is this year versus right-handed, batting from the right side. But over the years, batting from this side, this is where he's done the most damage against the Angels.
4-pitch walk, and none of those were even close. So first and second now with nobody out. And the batter will be Sean Murphy.
You know, Matt, one thing to consider too, to me, is you have to kind of individualize the situation. So what kinds of swings had Lowry been taken against Heaney? When I throw everything out, that's what I'm going to be basing it on, at least in this part of the ball game. And he was not very comfortable.
This might be a time for Matt Weiss to go out and talk to Cishek. He hasn't even been close on 5 pitches in a row.
Seems like he's trying to make every pitch be too perfect.
You have a batter up here that can hit into a double play if you get it on the ground.
Ball with no strikes to Sean Murphy. And that's 6 straight balls from Cishek. Yeah, and here comes Matt Wise. I mean, it's squirting out of his hand tonight.
You can guarantee Sean Murphy's going to be aggressive on this pitch. He's anticipating a strike here, even though he hasn't been close yet. Andrew Heaney looking on, thinking, you know, he was throwing the ball well, and not really a lot of hard contact against him the entire game.
Murphy homered last night. And there's one over the strike zone, 2-1. Olsen singled, and that was the end of the line for Heaney. Cishek enters from the Angels bullpen, loses Lowry on the walk, and now he's 2 balls and a strike to Sean Murphy. 2-2.
Tells you he's sitting breaking ball.
Seth Brown would pinch hit next. He would bat for Piscotty. This is the time of the night when Bob Melvin deploys his platoon advantage at a very effective rate. Two balls and 2 strikes to count to Sean Murphy. Full count now.
Boy, if you're talking about
so 3 straight
touching that strike zone.
Yeah. But the first 6 pitches that missed have not earned him much consideration.
Great
he missed with 2 sliders. Back in the count with the sinkers. And let's see what he comes with here on 3-2. Lost him on ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And Matt Wise is on the horn with the bullpen again.
That's pretty much a hitter going out there with a plan and not deviating at all from that plan.
It'll be Alex Claudio up. Seth Brown pinch hitting. He started in right field last night for Oakland. Just 3 for his last 37. And he lays off a pitch that misses. Two and 0. I don't think Steve Cishek has a feel for the baseball tonight. I mean, Captain Obvious here. But
not at all. Not even really close.
Gets a chase.
This pitch way out of the strike zone.
Olsen, Lowry, and Murphy aboard, nobody out. High fly ball into center field for Lagares. Olsen's going to tag up. He'll walk home to score the go-ahead run, and the A's are back out on top, 3-2 Oakland.
By the way, nice job by Lagares getting that throw into second base to keep the double play in order. No way you're going to throw out Lowry going to third. So you keep a double play in order.
Yes, an outfielder, that is your first stop right there. Second base, and you're going to get some help from the guys next to you in the corners. Right field and left field, letting you know that.
Andrews can roll into a double play.
Oh, he shortens up. A ball and no strikes. Runners at the corners as Lowry also advanced on the long fly ball into center field. Andrus tried to hit it in the air. Cishek wants him to hit it on the ground. 2-0. Andrus into the gap in left center field. That's trouble. Lowry scores easily. Murphy into third. They're going to try it with him as well. Throw to the plate's too late. A 3-run inning. Oakland takes their biggest lead of the night.
Fastball that drifts down, and he lines it towards center field, driving in a couple more.
Elvis Andrus has not looked like the guy who has the lowest OPS and slugging percentage in the American League this year. He's had 2 very nice nights offensively, and he adds 2 RBIs on the double. It's 5-2 A's. Now, he took Lieber to a full count in the second inning before going down on the strikeout. Lined over to shortstop. Jim Abbott's first major league hit, and it's going to score a run, baby. Jenkins to third. He's outed for third base. Oh. A Carl's Cam replay, one of the Angels' all-time greats, Jim Abbott, after he joined the then National League Brewers with a base hit. His first as a National Leaguer. Here's Alex Claudio trying to put a tourniquet on a troubling sixth inning. First pitch to Tony Kemp's in for a strike. Well, the move to the bullpen backfired. I think it's safe to say. Andrew Heaney left after the base hit. Back-to-back walks, a sac fly, and an RBI double. Rough night for Steve Cishek, and now it's a 3-run deficit for the Angels.
Well, just as you keep battling and trying to get even, work ahead, and then you look up, you're down by 3 now to Oakland here late in the game. Cishek, no feel for his breakable.
Kemp swats it to the shifted defense. Iglesias makes the play for route number 2 as Andrus advances to third.
Nice play by Iglesias. That ball was hit hard by Kemp. Another good swing against the Angels. He's had a good swing, good approach throughout this entire year.
There's Sky Bolt now. Is Sky Bolt's walk-up music a Fleetwood Mac song?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. I mean, for a kid in his 20s to walk up with Fleetwood Mac, I feel you, Sky Bolt. Look at Mark Kotze on it. Fullerton guy, Golden Spikes Award winner, multiple back surgeries. Give me a glove. Let me in there.
Gamer. He's had his nice rounds of managerial interviews too, Matt. Dooley.
He has. He's a guy who gets consideration. A hot candidate, if you will. And Bolt sends it on the ground to Iglesias. Wow, he almost beat that out. He can run. He's not Usain Bolt. You think Usain Bolt has Fleetwood Mac in his Spotify favorites?
Your favorite name, the Rocket City Trash Pandas, executing a perfect double steal. Torrey Hunter Jr. scoring, and Patrick Ditter stealing second base. We're talking about base running in our open, Gooby, how important that is, and keep the pressure throughout the organization. Teach his kids the same thing. Look at this. Knees, safe, get the infielder involved. Great jump to third base by Junior.
It's pretty tough head first slide.
I like the logo wipe for Trash Pandas TV. It's a big league operation they're running there.
Yes, it is.
Frankie Montas now with a 3-run lead as he goes back to work in the top half of inning number 7. Kian Wong, Kurt Suzuki, and Juan Lagares. Angels have come back a couple of times in this one. With taller order now down by 3. Seth Brown, as we guessed, continues in right field for Steven Piscotty. Little things, but those are the kinds of buttons that Bob Melvin has pushed here for 11 years that have worked. Platoon advantage.
Yeah, new nice contract extension for Mr. Melvin.
That's right. They picked up his deal today. Officially in the fold through the 2022 season, which would be his 12th year here in Oakland. 2-2.
Chris Rodriguez getting ready down in the bullpen.
And love to see that in a lead, right?
Yes. I mean, this got to be able to put one of these splitters in play.
Still 2-2 to Kian Wong. As far as the rest of the division tonight, Seattle has a 6-0 lead at home with the woe-begotten Minnesota Twins in town. Boy, that kind of disintegrated in a hurry in the Twin Cities this year, did it not?
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that everyone's expecting to battle with the White Sox in the AL Central. Nobody expected Cleveland to be battling this year. They're still in there with their great pitching, even though Shane Bieber's on the IL.
Splitter strikes him out. Yeah, the Indians have been a surprise, a pleasant one. It really has turned into a 2-horse race in the AL Central. White Sox setting the pole and making the pace. They were 3-0 winners today behind Dallas Keuchel, shutting out the Tampa Bay Rays. Indians all over Matt Harvey and the Orioles, also winners today. Here's Suzuki now with 1 gone. The other teams in the AL West, the Astros and Rangers, head-to-head tonight, and Houston defeated Texas 6-3 in extra innings. They call that the Silver Boot Series, when the two Texas teams mix it up. And the home team has won all 8 games in their season series so far this year.
I think it was Altuve with the big home run.
Think the players get into the silver boot at all? Think they care about that?
I think they just care about a W and some good at bats.
And a nice post-game spread. A nice play by Olsen to Montes for out number 2.
In that game, Matt, the name Kyle Gibson will continue to get some attention. 2.09 ERA now for the Rangers. 6 strong tonight.
That's good communication.
Yeah,
well, you can see it right there. Olsen said called it and go to the bag for Frankie Montas.
Who is not Hansel Robles, by the way. Even the smile is saying.
2 gone for Lagares. You mentioned Kyle Gibson, Jose.
Yes.
And the fact that he's under contract for another year, and I don't think it's too soon for a lot of contending teams to consider the trade market. And ironically, it used to be on this day, June 15th. This was the date of the old trading deadline.
Yeah, remember those days?
Had to conduct your business early. A ball and a strike to count to Juan Lagares. In fact, there were some notable deadline deals when the old deadline was set on June 15th. Brock Fabrolio in '64. Tom Tariff sent from the Mets to the Reds in the June deadline days. And Keith Hernandez acquired by the Mets from the Cardinals in '83.
Well, have
the June deadline.
How about Keith Hernandez in back-to-back games for us? Is in that Seinfeld episode? And now today.
That's right. Two balls and two strikes to count to Juan Lagares. Got him. Two more strikeouts for Frankie Montas, who 1-2-3 seventh. Tonight's seventh inning stretch is brought to you by Ford and the fully electric Ford F-150 Lightning. Let's take a look at it. And we're back. The seventh inning stretch was brought to you by the Ford Motor Company, built Ford proud. Chris Rodriguez out to make his third appearance since being reinstated off the injured list. Missed 26 games with the right shoulder inflammation. And C-Rod is back to make his third appearance since then tonight. He'll get the top of the Oakland order. Canna, Chapman, and Olson. Well, this was a 2-2 ball game heading into the bottom of the sixth inning. But Oakland rallied for three. One of the runs charged to Andrew Heaney, two to Steve Cishek. And now the Angels are once again battling and trying to come back from a 3-run deficit the same way they were last night late. Canna's got 2 hits tonight. A ball and a strike from Rodriguez.
And that's the pitch you look for Chris Rodriguez, dealing with that shoulder tenderness earlier when he was on the IL. The feel for his breaking ball, getting it out in front and on top of the baseball. with that cutting across your body.
Two balls and a strike.
Gubian, for you, elbow, shoulder injuries, how does it differ in terms of when you bring back your stuff?
Well, with shoulder too, because a lot of times to alleviate some of the discomfort, you pull across your body. You don't get out there in front. The elbow is a little bit different because that's when you're snapping a breakable or even a splitter. But that's something you look forward to. I mean, look at, because if you're out there extending your arm and getting full extension on there as far as the feel for your pitches, that means everything's intact as far as your shoulder. That's what the issue was for Chris. And now if you see him cutting across his body, especially on a breaking ball, you still think maybe there's a little doubt in his mind as far as how he feels.
You know,
full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
One thing, Matt, that's been noticeable since he came back is right-handed batters. That sinker that was getting in on a lot of them are kind of telling themselves just cheat a little bit more on that barrel and square it up a little bit, even if he hit it foul. But we've seen some good swings of that sinker inside from right-handers since his return.
Chopper to shortstop for Iglesias, and 1 gone to start the bottom of the 7th. And now a quick word from Hyundai.
Up to 3 years of complimentary maintenance. It's yours on every new Hyundai.
One gone, base is empty now for Matt Chapman. 8 for his last 18. And with an RBI single and a walk on his line tonight. High slider catches the top of the zone.
And we have to admire it. He is fearless.
Yeah.
This kid does not care who's in the batter's box. Coming right after you.
Day game tomorrow in the series finale. Cole Irvin, the Oakland left-hander, with Griffin Canning for Joe Maddon's Angels. And then it's back home for the Tigers, a 4-game series that starts Thursday night. Full capacity at Angel Stadium. It's going to be a big weekend. Full capacity. You got fireworks on Saturday.
Going to be great. Can't wait. So many fans waiting for that opportunity to see their halos at the Big A.
And that's Shohei Ohtani on the mound on Thursday. You got to feel that one foul. Good decision by Chris Rodriguez. That baseball was going to roll back fair. And that's why you have coaches before games just roll baseballs down the line to see if it would roll back into fair territory. That had to be that discussion. Anything roll down the line, you get over there as quick as possible to make sure you keep it foul.
Well, it's a skill for the men and women of Major League grounds crews to make sure those lines are perfect. Boy, it used to be a tough task here, too, when the Raiders were chewing up the surface at this place. I mean, I think there's still a couple of divot marks from Jamarcus Russell being tackled for loss. They're trying to mitigate in this ballpark.
Yeah, if you were an outfielder during football season, you better look that baseball into your glove all the way through. If you look up to see where the runner is, that baseball's by you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, September baseball was not ideal for certain guys out in the outfield.
Here's Matt Olson now with 2 gone. Not to mention, I always found it, you know, as a viewer, really aesthetically displeasing to see the gridiron out there. Or worse yet, you're watching the football game and you see the infield dirt. It just looked weird.
The mound displaced.
Right.
Wow, that pitch was filthy. That fastball ran from probably about an inch or two off the outside corner, and look how far that ran. Wow,
that's like a screwball.
Yes, at 97.
I mean, really, it moved like a changeup, but at 97 miles an hour. Another one.
And look at Matt Olson out at Chris Rodriguez going, wow, that movement.
Good with the follow through on those last 2 pitches. Best we've seen from him.
The feel. Well, here's a tough lefty getting ready for Oakland.
Oh, 2 the count to Matt Olson.
He got away with that one.
High fly ball out to right. And Chris Rodriguez gets Oakland in order in the 7th. On to inning number 8. Still 5-2 A's. Valley Sports is brought to you by Hyundai. See your Southern California Hyundai dealer today, because the longer you look at a new Hyundai, the more there is to like. And by Jack in the Box. Our $6.99 triple bacon cheesy jack combo is here only at Jack in the Box. A beautiful view of the Bay Bridge just past dusk in the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, as the Angels are nearing the 11th hour here in this ball game. Top of the 8th inning, they've got 6 outs left to try to do something against the A's bullpen. And here's a tough customer, left-hander Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, getting him
Luzardo,
back. Wow, he's nasty. His fastball, he's going to run it up there with consistency himself. Average fastball 95.5 to a slider, curveball, changeup.
He has been struggling.
One and one to David Fletcher. Yeah, the home run ball has been part of the problem for Luzardo. It's been a while since he's last worked. 4 days between outings. Aaron Slegger's back up from AAA in the bullpen for the Angels. Too much foul territory here for that one to get out of play. One gone. Hey, once again, with the top of the order headed up, a good time to remind you that this week we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every homer in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. So far, $195,000 have been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Jesus Luzardo has allowed 4 homers in his last 3 games. Let's see if Justin Upton can help contribute to the cause here. Easy gas from Luzardo. You know, I think the day that Reggie Jackson decided he was going into the Hall of Fame as a Yankee was the day that Oakland's veteran clubhouse man Steve Vucinich decided that that number was back in play. That's my guess.
Yeah.
No one's told me that. But
yeah. You might be right. This is last year, right? Didn't he retire after the season? I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember him for a long time. He's on the visiting side, too, for a while.
Two and two. I think they put 44 back in play sooner than that, if memory serves. You know, Reggie left. Charlie Finley wasn't real happy about the way that went down. And I think there have been a few 44s here since then. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shohei Ohtani waiting on deck. Would be great to get a base runner aboard in front of him. 3-2 pitch home to Upton.
His job is staying alive in that at bat. Yeah, you need some traffic here.
Luzardo, recall, opened the year a member of the A's starting rotation. Did not have a lot of success. Sharply hit to the shortstop. Andrus was in a perfect spot, and there are 2 away. So Ohtani will bat with 2 out and the base is empty. Ohtani tonight so far hitless, 0 for 3. 1 for 8 in the series. We were hopeful that he'd be able to capitalize on what had been a really good matchup for him against Frankie Montas. He'd homered against him twice, but no dice tonight. 0-1 the count from Luzardo. By the way, the reason that Luzardo was on the IL, and we mentioned that he was reinstated on May 30th. He broke his left pinky, and it's reported that that was the result of bumping his hand on a desk while playing a video game. We put that down as one of the more regrettable IL stints.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that went on the shelf, the Tigers reliever that got hurt playing air guitar or Guitar Hero?
Zumaya?
Yes, Joel Zumaya.
Boy, talk about an arm.
Oh. Oh, Shohei got him. Got him. Yeah.
Oh, Shohei, 18th home run of the season. Wow, was that baseball across 36 extra base hits. That baseball got out in a second. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody go get that baseball because it's flat on one side. That is beautiful.
And remember, the baseball doesn't carry great at night, but that baseball was so far so quick. 115.8 exit velocity.
I was just going to ask you if you wanted to guess.
Oh,
1-6. Let's round up and call it an even 116.
Wow.
We're desensitized by that, how hard that is. 115.8 miles an hour.
I mean, he hit one at the Big A not that long ago with 117 miles an hour down the right field line. But wow, basically 116. Wow. I guess that's why Vlad Jr. said, you know what, you are the MVP. He is the MVP.
Right. Well, only Vlad Jr. and Fernando Tatis Jr. have hit more than Shohei Ohtani this year. 2 of the 5 home run leaders in all the land head-to-head here in Ohtani and Olsen. Again, the homer's been a problem for Luzardo. That's 5 homers in his last 4 outings now. And what a shame there wasn't a base runner aboard in front of that blast, or 2.
The amazing thing about Shohei, he is slugging .732 versus fastballs this year. It's his 12th home run he's hit versus a fastball. Nice to see that against a lefty, too.
Ball and 2 strikes the count to Jose Iglesias. Get through. No such luck. However, Shohei's laser beam gets the Angels back to within 2. A 5-3 Oakland lead. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Angel Stadium. Buy and manage your game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. And then download the MLB.com app, and you can watch an endless stream of highlights of Shohei Ohtani's homer tonight. Oh, man.
That thing was rocketed out.
I think that garnered him another couple of All-Star votes. He's leading all AL designated hitters. Aaron Slegers is the new pitcher for the Angels, back up on the big league roster. His first pitch to Jed Lowry's fouled away. Lowry, Murphy, and Brown. There's your Murphy-Brown batting order again, Gooby.
There it is.
The Oakland A's.
Sitcom is back.
Oh, 0-2 the count to Jed Lowry, who's hitless tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run. So the iPads are getting Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, and Mark Canha ready for a potential appearance against Aaron Slegers.
I think they were all looking at the exit velocity of the home run by Shohei Ohtani. They're all smiling, going, yes, that baseball's covered.
You might be right. You might be right.
I mean, he's one of those guys, even as an opponent, you're sitting there just watching him and seeing what he's going to do next.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Was that was a 2-strike pitch, wasn't it, Google, that he hit out?
Yep.
Shohei?
Yes. I mean, it was, I think, what, 97, 98?
I don't think he has a 2-strike swing. Lowry takes a big swing, sends a ball to center field. Lagares leaps at the wall and makes the catch.
That's a Gold Glover.
A fine catch by Lagares.
Yeah, Gold Glover back in 2014 with the Mets, and that's a pretty good hack by Jed Lowry going the other way off the bat. I'm thinking that's some trouble.
I think that's what Lowry was thinking too.
Here's a pitcher. Slager's going, yeah, I got it out. Exactly what I wanted.
Sean Murphy on the first pitch sends one into the same spot, but this one ain't coming back. Wow. Just like that, Oakland has its 3-run lead back.
And you look at what Sean Murphy has done against the Angels this year, and look what he's done in baseball on the first pitch. You have to be really, really careful on the first pitch. Coming in the game, 432. Now 3 home runs on the first pitch, 12 for 27. That's a pretty good sound off the bat. That's a big run back because the Angels were just a bloop and a blast away from tying it. Now they got to scratch and claw to get 3 runs again.
He's got 9 RBIs against the Angels this year. That's 9 of his 35. He's homered in back-to-back games in the series. Now Seth Brown picks on the first pitch. This one's popped up, however. Hey, call the ball! Oh, man, that could have been bad. Wong ends up making the catch. It looked like Iglesias was trying to call him off, but that ball was directly in Kian Wong's eye line.
Yeah, you got some guys playing out of position in the infield. That's Kian Wong's first start, by the way, even though he's playing over in a second base position. The guy's moving all around in the infield with shifts on. Kian Wong's first major league start at third base tonight.
So 2 gone for Elvis Andrus now, who has 2 runs batted in on his line. Now the Angels continue to kind of tinker with the right formula, the right personnel in the bullpen. And it's been kind of one on, one off. Somebody's sent out to AAA Salt Lake or DFA'd. In this case, it was James Hoyt that was sent out after yesterday's game. Slegers comes back. He gives up the homer tonight. Two balls and a strike to count to Andrus. Well, I mean, obviously the difference between a 2-run deficit headed to the 9th and a 3-run deficit is pretty significant. And Andrus sends that one foul. But the Angels will have Walsh, Ward, and Wong in the top of the 9th inning. Slegers hoping to take them there, down by no more than 3. Two balls and 2 strikes to Elvis Andrus. Andrew Heaney started tonight, went 5+. The end of his night came when he yielded the inning opening single to Matt Olson in the 6th. The bullpen caved in behind him, and the Angels have been playing catch up ever since. Full count now.
Boy, Murphy now with 35 RBIs for Oakland this season. That's a big home run. That's that big run you get, isn't it? as your team sits in that dugout, you want that add-on run, and the Angels, you want to prevent that to have some momentum after that swing by Shohei Ohtani.
Andrus sends a ball well hit to left. That one's off the top of the wall. Some very big contact against Aaron Slegers in his first day back on the big league roster.
That's second double. And Andrus turns on this one, just misses hitting a home run. And guys were giving him a little grief in the dugout, saying you got to get to the weight room to get that one out. 74, by the way, career RBIs against the Angels for Andrus.
Wow, that just missed.
Yeah. I need the weight room. I need it.
Again, Elvis Andrus started play in this series as the American League's lowest ranked hitter in terms of OPS and slugging. Tonight he's got a pair of doubles, 2 RBIs, drove in a run yesterday. And here's Tony Kemp now with a runner at second. Kemp has singled and scored tonight. It looked like Kurt Suzuki was either crossed up there or caught a glare someplace.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the same thing. Either you're thinking that fastball was going to sink away, it ended up cutting back.
Two balls and no strikes, the count to Tony Kemp. Same thing. What's going on? Those are weird reactions.
I think it's a catcher. You're a sinker slider guy. You're anticipating some sink action, but he's thrown a lot more four-seam fastballs this year for Slegers, elevating it.
Strike over the inside corner, 3-1 now. It was the big inning last night. There's ball 4. It's a 5-run third yesterday, 3-run sixth today. There's Sky Bolt now. So the 2-out double by Andrus, and then the walk to Tony Kemp. Bolt is hitless. He is the only Oakland hitter not to have at least reached base safely tonight. He did, however, make a great catch tonight. Airborne.
What aggressive angle he took to get to that baseball and cut that one off. Ricky Montas loving that play defensively behind him.
It's an interesting list of players that have been both A's and Giants. It's a very short list of players that have been both A's and Giants in the same month. Sky Bolt, the latest. A ball and 2 strikes. Again, a day game tomorrow in the series finale. Cole Irvin, the left-hander for Oakland. Griffin Canning for the Angels. Road trip started out with so much promise in Arizona. Bolt rolls over. And the ground ball for Fletcher. It gets Slegers out of any further trouble. Last licks coming up for the Halos, down by 3.
Walsh, Ward, and Wong. Houston used to have the killer bees. This is www.run scored here in this inning for the Halos. Let's get it going.
I like that. All right. Let's go www.3run rally. 4 would be even better. Yusmeiro Petit, who has found a new gear with a different setup on the mound. I think we talked about this when the Angels were here in May, how starting last year, Yusmeiro Petit hides the ball much differently than he had throughout his career. A little older, stuff's not what he used to be, but the opponent doesn't pick up the ball as early, and Walsh sends the ball out to center field. That ball is crushed and gone. One of them comes right back.
Well, Walsh
6-4 Oakland.
He knew it right away off the bat. Petit doesn't make many mistakes in the middle of the plate. This time he does. And Walsh jumps on it. Great sound off the bat. His 15th home run.
We got to get the name of that camera operator because he wanted nothing to do with that ball. It was coming in with some hair on it. Here's Taylor Ward now. We're told that gentleman's name is Ron Saran. And Ron might come to the ballpark tomorrow with a glove or a net or a shield.
I'm thinking the shield might be worth it. He's looking, wow, that ball was rocketed my way.
I mean, I don't blame him for bailing, man. There's no point trying to be a hero there. Ward swings and pops it up. And the Angels are down to their last 2 outs now. The homer for Walsh, the 15th of his season, RBI number 46. Those are all-star worthy numbers. Again, his balloting is open at MLB.com. Here's Kean Wong. You know, Gooby, we were talking about the big inning and how there was a big one yesterday for the A's, 5-run third, 3-run inning today. The Angels in 67 games have endured 47 innings where the opponent has scored 3 or more. I mean, that's happening in 2 out of every 3 nights. Slash to Chapman. What a fine play on a well-hit ball. And Wong is retired. 2 gone in the 9th. Let's name our Toyota player of the game. It's Oakland right-hander Frankie Montas, who kept the Angels off balance with a great fastball and a very effective splitter all night.
Yeah, one of the best splitters I've seen from him. He had that fastball velocity consistently, 97, 98, even 99, but that splitter was a difference maker in 8 punch-outs in 7 innings. And Matt, go back to your point about those big innings. A lot of them have been partially because of walks. It's given that extra traffic.
Kurt Suzuki represents the last chance for the Angels tonight. Breaking ball, he almost straightened out. And it's 0-2 to Suzuki. Boy, that late home run by Sean Murphy really sucked the wind out of the Angels' sails, because the Angels benefited from 2 late homers as well. Yeah, Ohtani goes deep in the 8th. Walsh here in the 9th.
That was a really good swing from Walsh. You'd love to see that. But Ohtani's home run was incredible.
Suzuki grounds it to third. Chapman has trouble, recovers and gets him anyway. The A's have made it 2 in a row over the Angels. 5 straight wins overall. And the team atop the post in the AL West adds another win to its total. Oakland now 42-27 as the Angels, on the heels of the 6-game winning streak, have dropped 2 in a row to the A's.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. You got to find a way to get one going tomorrow, and it's only a few hours away to get that bats going. A couple 8 home runs, make it that charge up.
Quick turnaround for the day game, the finale of the road trip tomorrow. Join us then. For Jose Mota and Mark Gubas, I'm Matt Vasgersian, thanking you for joining us. Angels Live is coming up next.